Things got incredibly heated at the second half of this episode. Whoa. Okay, so, where to really begin, honestly? Like, there is just a lot that goes down, and frankly, I'm really sad for the MC. I pity him, because even though he isn't probably the best guy of all time, because he does have that rotten side to him, deep down, as I talked about in my first impressions, he does have a kind heart, because even though he knows he's being used, etc., and he may have had his ulterior motives, he does, in his own way, go out of his own way to help out his friends. That's what he tries to do. You can clearly see that there is a side where he's just really kind-hearted, and he does want to help those around him. His childhood friend, the student council president, his best friend, Sun-kun, you know, he wants to help out his friends. He wants to go out of his way and make sure that they have a good time, even if it means that he's losing his precious time and also losing his chances of being with one of them, etc. You know, he is trying to help them out. And honestly, seeing what happened in the second half just makes me pity him, because he's in such a bad situation that I don't know what I would really do in that moment, because he's really caught between a rock and a hard place. Because let's kind of analyze the situation. So as we know from the first episode, the two girls that you would figure would join his harem and come after him, that did not happen. They love the MC's best friend, Sun-kun, and they're like, can you help us? And obviously, because of the tragedy and sadness of that moment, you know, the bench has led to a lot of complicated issues for him. It's basically a monument of tragedy every time he sees a bench now. But getting off the jokes, though, basically, he was tasked with helping them out. And at the end of the first episode, we're revealed to the third girl, which is actually probably the main female character that is actually in love with our MC. But the point of it was, though, within this episode, you have it to where he's trying to help them out, and his best friend confronts him, is like, hey, I actually like someone, you know, could you help me out? And I'm gonna be honest here, when I was watching the episode, I figured that the MC's best friend, Sun-kun, was gonna come on to him as like, I'm actually in love with you. I thought something like that was gonna happen. I really did. There was a lot of vibes that was leading to that, but it did not happen, so once again, my expectations were subverted, and I'm pretty impressed with the show, honestly. It's not going the cliche, obvious route. I expected that just because of the way the scene was done, so I am very pleased with it. But anyways, he basically announces to our MC, like, hey, I'm actually in love with the girl that's in the library that you constantly talk to. And obviously, he's like, I think you're kind of close. Could you help me set up with the girl you've been talking with? And the MC actually says a flat-out no to his best friend. And that's the thing here, is that the first time he actually says no, it leads into so many issues for the remainder of the episode. It puts him in so much trouble that, honestly, like I said, I pity him. And so the main conflict right now is that you have two of the female characters, you know, the childhood friend and the student council president. They find out now that the MC's friend is in love, the one they love is in love with the girl that with glasses, and they're willing to help him out, even though they just want to be close to him. And now you have it to where the MC is being mistaken to be in love with the stalker girl from his best friend, which is basically tearing down all three relationships he has, which is just, it's utterly messed up. And it all really comes down to the fact that the MC is too nice for his own good. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Because if the MC wouldn't have, let's say, said yes to the two girls, but then on top of that would have said, you know, yes also to his best friend instead of saying no, things would have been a lot different. But because of everything, the choices he's made, because he was just such a good guy, it led into where he's at right now. And he's at risk of literally losing all three friendships. I mean, his childhood friend, the student council president, and his best friend, because of just everything that's happened. And I just like, whoa, this got really aggressive quickly, and I'm really excited for this series. It's a really good watch, and I'm glad that the series is definitely throwing curveballs I did not expect at all, and I do wonder exactly why the main female character is in love with the MC. It's still yet to really be explained, and I'm really curious, because once again, we've had confirmation on how the others fell in love with each other. For instance, we know how the childhood friend and the student council president and even Sun, how they fell in love with the respective people they care about, but we still have yet to find out why the stalker yandere girl really even cares about Joro. We don't really know, and I'm really curious to find out, because once again, as I said, I do think that Joro probably had an everlasting impact on her life, most likely at one critical point, and it probably isn't something as shallow as maybe the other 3 characters. Okay, I'm not saying that their love is shallow, I'm just saying the way they kind of fell in love with them is a little bit weird and definitely different than you would normally see a character love someone or fall in love with someone. I think that the female character, or main female character, probably fell in love with Joro because he probably helped her out and he just doesn't even realize it or something, and ever since then she's really cared about him. I mean, like I said, for her to even know about his, you know, hidden personality that his best friend doesn't even know, she's been watching for a very, very long time. Like, a very long time. More than just a baseball game. So, that's the point I'm getting at, is I do think that, at the end of the day, most likely, there is some wholesome connection, and I think that probably at the end of the story, we're probably going to get revealed of why she fell in love with him. But for now, though, I do think that this series has a really good making to be a great slice-of-the-life rom-com/drama series for this anime season. This episode really took it up a whole other notch of just dramatic, like, situations. I'm really excited. So, what to get into? I guess let's talk about, what happened with the bench. I think that is probably one of the funniest things. I did not realize just how traumatized the MC would be after, you know, after everything that's happened in the first episode. I didn't think he would get traumatized by a bench. And just seeing that scene where he's, like, getting scared and he sees the aura radiating off the bench, I was just laughing because I'm like, honestly, at this point, I would think any bench around me is a curse. And that's kind of what he felt. And I was just sitting there laughing because, like, this poor man, like, every time he gets near it, someone confesses their feelings about who they care about, and he's like, oh god, and, you know, it happened once again. So, yeah, I just think Oresuki is, a fantastic series. I'm so glad I picked it up. I'm so glad I gave it a chance because it's definitely something I need every single week because I need a romance. I need a slice-of-life/drama series each season. Even if I don't always talk about them/review them, I do look for them actively because they're always just so fun and engaging in a way, and this is exactly what this series is. Speaking of which, though, the art and animation quality of this episode definitely took a step forward compared to the previous episode. I mean, the art and animation was good last episode, like first episode, but I think episode 2 was honestly leagues above it. It was definitely a lot better, and it felt like it wasn't just focused on one spot within the episode, because the first episode had different scenes that did have better animation art than this episode, but it was just for certain little scenes. Like, you know, the animators were just focusing on individual scenes, but this episode felt like it kind of spread throughout the entirety of it, and it had a nice perfect balance, which didn't make it too jarring if a scene was probably a little bit less animated in art quality compared to the others, because it was all a perfect balance. I do think that this episode did a good job with that. I think overall, I'm going to continue watching it. I'm excited to see how episode 3 is going to turn out and see how the MC is going to get out of his situation or if he's not. And will his friendship with his other friends end because he's too good of a guy? We'll have to find out. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, you know, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.